The time I went to explore a broken building. It happened on June 21st, 2015. It was summer and I was bored, no friends, family, or occupation to be busy with. The store I work at closes every summer because of heat problems or something. We didn't have an AC. I faintly remembered a place I saw every time I walked home from school. This broken-down concrete building with barely any walls. I personally thought it would be a great hangout if I had someone to hang around with. I decided, hey, there's this place that looks nice. Why don't we go? To myself. I'd say I'm pretty impulsive, so I went ahead and grabbed my stuff, a phone, and put my shoes on. It was an afternoon, so it was humid as hell, but the heat never bothered me anyway. See what I did there? I used Google Maps to try and find the school and used the same path I took from memory. It was a dense forest and no people. I took the path specifically for that reason. After passing by the school and going to the other side, I walked through the forest trying to remember exactly where that place was. Hours passed, but thankfully I'm not easily bored or tired. I saw a clearing and I found the spot. Just as broken as the day I saw it. Walking towards it through the bushes, I thought, holy hell, this is exactly how horror movies start. But as pathetically alone I was, I often forget about my mortality. I went in, finger guns at the ready. I didn't really take it seriously because it's a broken building. It's the afternoon. What's Jeepers Creepers gonna do? Kill me? Actually, yeah, he would. At least I'd die in the daylight. Walking over the rocks all over the floor, I went in what looks to be an entrance. There were barely any ceilings, so the daylight bought me comfort as I went to explore. Going deeper in the building, I realize, this place is fucking huge. There were more empty rooms where there were expected to be rubble, and I started to feel chills. Even as the most entertainment I've had in almost a year, I felt like I needed to get the fuck out. I turned around, and I see this skeleton wrapped in skin of an old man just staring at me like he was drunk. Back bent like he was leaning back, belly out, bad posture and everything. As scared shitless as I was, I didn't want to feel like I was being chased by this chicken bone of a man, so I asked, "Sir, I'm sorry, do you live here?" Like a white person in a horror movie. The fucker smiled, even with his barely acceptable as a human and not a skeleton ass skin, he somehow smiled. I'm gonna go. I started to walk like a crab, looking simultaneously left and right in case the dementia-infested asshole started chasing me or someone snuck up on me. He stood there, not moving an iota, just staring. Now I thought maybe he has scoliosis and he needs help moving. Fuck. No, who the hell smiles like that when they need help? And as fucked up as it is, he's dying soon anyway. In my inaccurate attempt to flee, I found my dumbass deeper into the building instead of outside. I accidentally stepped onto some kind of trapdoor and fell. With the adrenaline telling me to GTFO, I stood up immediately and squared up like I'm about to box demons. Looking around, all is the daylight from the hole I fell through. Somehow I survived that fall with a cut on my calf, but I probably shouldn't have since there didn't seem to be any ladders. I looked around with my fists still up. I saw a door. Just a singular door. But just before I went to the door, I made sure to position some particularly sharp rocks below the hole in case that wrinkly skeleton tried to jump in with me. I really don't like him. I went through the door and I saw a much, much larger place, dusty and having a long hallway. Almost like a school, but not clean at all, like everything was made out of wood, or just really, really dusty. It was dark, but I could somehow make out the place. I was scared, who wouldn't be? But I couldn't just whimper in a corner. I crouched and snuck around, peeking into any open room. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Thank God. Nothing but empty rooms. That's actually not fucking good. No blackboard, no shelves, and most importantly, no visible way out. I pulled out my phone and entered an empty room because I wanted to hide while I tried to call for help. And of fucking course, no signal. This little trip couldn't get any worse. Goddammit, please don't jinx it. I sighed and opened the door, continuing to find a way out of this stinky, dusty-ass place. There I saw it, stairs. I ran for it. No way I'm spending another minute in this place. I thought to myself as managed not to trip and fall. I saw the sunlight and some room near the corner. In my hurry, I didn't stop to look, but I could see in my fairy-pearl vision that there was a giant hole inside. I bursted out of the stairs and finally got outside, but no way in hell I'd stop there. I ran for the forest, no logical thought of looking for a better way. Actually, there was a moment of me thinking I'd get more lost. I looked back and saw hundreds of other uncanny-looking old people, no clothes, no nothing, just staring at me with weird postures and unmoving. Standing right above the stairs that I left through. I somehow didn't notice, and if I hadn't turned around, I probably would have been even more scared. But right now, I just had chills down my spine that stayed a moment longer than I would have liked it to. I ran and ran further into the forest, pulling my phone out and desperately opening Google Maps. I saw that I'm way past the school and my place. That hallway is much longer than I thought. I ran as far away from the place, however, not stopping even for a clearing, a road, or what looked to be a hunting tower, until I came across a bustling street. Panting and sweaty, I got weird looks from people. Even after I left there, I'm shaking in my boots. I went to go get a taxi and cash up the guy as I went to my place. I went towards my landlord, now my wife. Yeah, I earned this beautiful person. Because of how scared I was just shivering in discomfort, she comforted me and said I could rest on the couch. I followed her around like a scared puppy as I searched up the place. I wanted to know exactly what the fuck it is. But nothing came up. I looked back to Google Maps and it's blank now. Shit, it took everything for me to not curl up into a ball in front of Mia. I'm giving her a name now. Some days passed and I still hadn't left Mia's place. I even paid her extra just to let me stay. Eventually, I started to calm down by forgetting the amount of old people I saw just standing there. I made friends with Mia, so I at least have someone to talk to now. When I felt like opening up, I talked to her about it, and she turned even paler in fear. "That place used to be a church," she shakily said. If I wasn't so scared, I probably would have laughed about how convenient it was for her to know that. But it was an advantage for me to get to know the place, to understand it and be less disturbed. She told me her parents used to take her there, but one day her parents didn't come home and the church was eventually mowed down. I asked her, what did the police say about this? According to her, she had a close relationship with this one cop. He said he'd try to get his team on it, but every other officer shook their heads and looked away like they just saw a ghost. That same officer went alone. The next time Mia saw him, he looked like he hadn't been eating right, and he screamed whenever he saw her. Not out of fear or anger, but anguish. He was kicked out of the force, and he died from a seizure or heart attack from what Mia heard. She cried into my arms as she processed all that she said, like she herself tried to forget the trauma. I comforted her, nodding as she spoke. I understand her, my parents also went missing. I was an only child and I was a shy kid. No guidance or comfort or even friends. Years later, I proposed to her. As corny as it sounds, she made my life bright. I couldn't have asked for anything else. And in those years, I didn't give up. I learned through other people in the town on their own perspective and tried to connect them together. It was a church named Aldous Home for the Lord. Formed in the Middle Ages, even through war and hardship, it stood tall. Until one day, a small hole was found in the church, growing larger and larger. It eventually became noticeable, and someone peeked into it. I'm not really sure what they say because there weren't any consistent answers. Some say their late parents saw hell itself, some say something stared back, or simply darkness. As I write this, me and my wife had supported each other, even as I revealed to her what I've been doing. I cherish her, truly. But I will never forget what happened there, and I won't stop trying to learn about it. And honestly, a part of me seems more intrigued than scared.